Fulham lined up in a classic 4-2-3-1 setup, with Bernd Leno standing firm between the posts. The back line featured Joachim Andersen and Tosin Adarabioyo at the heart of defense, supported by Ryan Sessegnon and Timothy Castagne on the flanks. Both fullbacks were expected to push forward often, adding width and feeding dangerous crosses into the box whenever Fulham built their attacks. In midfield, Sander Berge and captain Tom Kearney took control as the engine of the team. Berge's composure and Kearney's leadership gave Fulham a strong presence in the center. They worked to keep possession, slow the game down when needed, and provide quick transitions to spark counterattacks against Arsenal's high press. Further forward, Alex Iwobi and Harry Wilson operated on the wings, looking to stretch the pitch and test Arsenal's fullbacks. Joshua King played just behind Raul Jimenez, acting as the creative link between midfield and attack. With King's smart positioning and Jimenez's strength inside the box, Fulham aimed to trouble Arsenal's defense early on. Off the bench, Marco Silva had plenty of options to shake things up. Calvin Bassey brought defensive muscle. Adama Traore offered electric pace on the wing, and Harrison Reed added energy in midfield. These substitutes were ready to inject fresh intensity, especially in the final minutes when legs started to tire. Arsenal mirrored Fulham's 4-2-3-1 formation under Mikel Arteta's guidance. David Raya stayed in goal, shielded by William Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes at the back. Jurrien Timber and Ricardo Calafiori occupied the fullback roles, offering both defensive stability and forward runs to support Arsenal's fluid attacking style. In the middle of the park, Declan Rice and Martin Zubimendi formed a disciplined double pivot. Rice handled the defensive duties and tempo control, while Zubimendi focused on linking up play and finding gaps between Fulham's lines. Just ahead of them, Eberechi Eze added flair and creativity, constantly looking to break open the defense with his quick feet and sharp vision. Up front, captain Bukayo Saka led the charge from the right wing, with Leandro Trossard providing movement and trickery on the left. At the tip of the attack stood Victor Gyökeres, a powerful forward hungry for goals. And with impact players like Martinelli and Moreno waiting on the bench, Arsenal's attacking threat looked dangerous from start to finish.
The match kicked off with both teams sticking to their 4-2-3-1 setups, and the first half unfolded as a cautious battle for control. Fulham relied on their compact shape, while Arsenal patiently built from the back through Rice and Zubimendi. Despite some promising moves, neither side could break the deadlock before halftime, as Anderson's injury in the 42nd minute forced Fulham to bring on Issa Diop, slightly disrupting their defensive rhythm. The second half began with Arsenal showing more intent. Their pressing grew sharper, and Fulham started to sit deeper. The breakthrough came in the 58th minute when Gabriel rose highest from a corner, heading the ball down for Leandro Trossard, who made no mistake and fired it past Leno. That strike gave Arsenal the edge they'd been pushing for and silenced Craven Cottage. Just minutes later, Mikel Arteta made a tactical change, bringing on Mikel Merino for Eberechi Eze in the 62nd minute to add more control in midfield. Fulham responded quickly, swapping Joshua King for Kevin and introducing Emile Smith-Rowe for captain Tom Kearney at 64. Marco Silva clearly wanted fresh legs to chase the game. The tension rose around the 68th minute when Fulham fans screamed for a penalty after a challenge inside the box, but the referee waved play on after a VAR check. It was a huge let-off for Arsenal and a moment that left the Fulham bench furious, as they felt the decision could have changed the game's momentum. As the match entered the final 20 minutes, substitutions came thick and fast. Adama Traore and Calvin Bassey replaced Harry Wilson and Jose Cuncha in the 82nd minute, while Arteta countered by introducing Gabriel Martinelli for Trossard at 81st. Arsenal shifted focus toward managing their narrow lead while keeping fresh legs on the flanks. In stoppage time, Victor Gyökeres made way for Christian Norgard as Arsenal tightened up defensively, aiming to preserve their clean sheet. Fulham kept pressing, but their attacks lacked precision and composure in the final third. The Gunners' back line, marshaled by Saliba and Gabriel, held firm under late pressure. When the referee blew the final whistle, Arsenal's 1-0 victory felt hard-earned but well-deserved. They showed discipline, tactical intelligence, and composure in key moments, while Fulham's late push fell short. It was a professional away performance by Arteta's men. 1 goal, 3 points, and another step forward in their Premier League campaign.
Fulham fought hard but couldn't turn possession into goals, as Arsenal claimed a narrow but deserved win. The first half was balanced, with both sides creating half chances, but Arsenal looked sharper in build-up play. Their patience finally paid off in the 58th minute when Gabriel nodded down a corner for Leandro Trossard, who calmly slotted home to make it 1-0 for the Gunners. Fulham tried to respond quickly after conceding. Alex Iwobi and Harry Wilson pushed higher up the pitch, looking to combine with Raul Jimenez. The home side had one big moment in the 68th minute when the crowd shouted for a penalty after a tussle in the box, but the referee waved play on, ruling it as a fair challenge. It was a turning point that left Marco Silva visibly frustrated on the touchline. Arsenal, on the other hand, stayed disciplined and confident in possession. With Declan Rice anchoring the midfield and Bukayo Saka constantly drawing defenders, the Gunners controlled the tempo of the match. Their fluid passing sequences and quick transitions kept Fulham chasing shadows for much of the second half. Statistically, Arsenal's dominance was clear. They held 63% of the ball and registered 16 total shots, 5 of which were on target. Fulham, despite their efforts, failed to record a single shot on target across 90 minutes. The Gunners also produced 10 corners to Fulham's 6, showing their sustained attacking pressure. Fulham's defense worked overtime, with Anderson and Castagne making several key clearances and interceptions to keep the scoreline respectable. Bernd Lehner made some solid interventions too, but Arsenal's organization in the final third made the difference. Fulham's inability to find composure in front of goal ultimately cost them any chance of a comeback. The midfield battle was intense. Tom Kearney tried to dictate Fulham's rhythm, but he and Sander Berge struggled against Arsenal's more dynamic duo of Rice and Zubamendi. Arsenal's passing game was crisper, with 536 total passes compared to Fulham's 313, a clear reflection of their technical superiority throughout the match. In the end, it was a professional performance from Mikel Arteta's men. They managed the game smartly, avoided unnecessary risks, and secured all 3 points with control and maturity. Fulham showed fight, but Arsenal's structure, quality, and patience were simply on another level, a win that keeps their momentum strong heading into the next Premier League fixture.